I mean, I still don't think it's real. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I go to Baker when I'm here. I go to Baker most mornings. I'm like, why am I here? Like, what is going on? It's still so surreal. But I guess it came about because Jake was going to do Atlantic Drift as a board brand, and we had all left Isle. But then he got really ill, like super sick. He got really bad, like long COVID. And I don't think he'll mind me talking about this because he explained it to everyone. But it really fucked him up. Like, he was pretty much in his room for 5 months, I think it was. So he was pretty, and this happened whilst the board brand was like about to get launched, about to go in production and all this stuff. And, you know, he was so unwell, he couldn't do it. And, you know, there was no, everyone was super understanding. Obviously, it's just like, we want you to be okay. We don't care about this. Like, obviously this would be sick, but like, you're our close friend and like, you've done so much for us in the past. Like, we just want you to be okay. So then he came to the decision to not do it, which, you know, he then, a few days afterwards, he was on the phone to Reynolds about something completely different. Like, I think he wanted him to come on like one of the catfish trips, which is like these little videos he does on the side. And then he said to Andrew about it, and I guess they spoke about my South Bank part, I think it was. And then Jake ended up saying like, oh, he's a free agent, by the way. And then I think it was the next day, maybe, Nick Stain texted me, and he was just like screenshotted like text from Andrew Reynolds, oh, have you got Casper's number? He's like, should I send it to you? And I was like, well, yeah, please. Of course, like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then Jake called me and he was like, hey man, just, you know, you might get a call from Andrew Reynolds. And I was like, this is fucking weird. What is happening? Like, mind blown. Like, I don't know. I was so anxious and nervous. And then, yeah, get a text. It's like, maybe Andrew Reynolds. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, hey, spoke to Jacob. Like, we should talk. I was like, I think I was cycling home from skating or something like that. But I looked at it and didn't reply for like an hour and a half because I was fucking terrified. Anyway, so I texted him. I was like, hey man, yeah, of course. Like, what a crazy text to receive. Like, when's good for you? And he put now, question mark. And I was like, oh, I can't do this on like my bike on the way home. So I cycled home, dropped my bike off, went to the shop, got 2 beers, and a pack of cigarettes, and went to South Bank and sat on the stairs that like go down to the river. And anyway, we had like a 20-minute conversation, and he was like, look, there's a home for you here, like you'd go straight to pro. And like, he was like, would it be Casper or Brooker? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And then so we were on the phone for like 20 minutes, and I was like, look, I'll get back to you in like a week. And then I like hung up, and that was like the happiest day of my life. I was cycling around with like a crazy big smile, went and got some beers, but I couldn't tell anyone because time sensitivity and just like obviously not wanting to run around saying it to people. And then
You definitely told some people though.
oh yeah, I told 2 people that day. Yeah. No, it wasn't like, there was no way I couldn't tell anyone. But yeah, and then I was sort of like, I knew straight away I was going to say yes. Like, it'd be so silly not to. And like, you know, my fucking childhood hero is calling me up and being like, do you want to skate for your favorite brand ever? But yeah, and then I like text him on the Friday. This is the conversation happened on like a Monday or Tuesday. And I text him on the Friday, like, you know, I had some beers, and like sent a screenshot of that Lou Reed song Street Hassle, you know, the one they use at the beginning. And I was like, I'd be so down. And then he just like 30 minutes later, he didn't respond. I was like, oh my God, this is just like a big joke. Like, someone's fucking like having me on here. And he sent me like the mock-up of the Baker ball, my name in it. And I was like, oh my fucking God, this is, yeah. And that's how it came about.
And how has it been since? How has your life changed? I'm assuming you've been on tour and you hang out with them. And how is that? Because obviously, like the videos, especially from the past, are from a different era.
Yeah.
And things are probably different now, and just the way that they live their lives is like, especially if they're growing older, like probably taking care of themselves a little bit more and doing this or that. So, but how has your experience been?
I mean, it's been amazing. Like, you know, before, because I actually went on a trip with Andrew 10 years ago on an America trip, and I hadn't seen or spoken to him since. But like, even on that trip, he was, you know, fucking eating super healthy, taking care of his body. I think he's been sober for like 20 years or something. But so I went to New York to go hang out with him in August, and I was, you know, we'd go get smoothies at 9 a.m. and then go skate Tompkins, and I was like, what the fuck, this is insanely cool. And it's just like, I guess Baker has that image from the past, and there's definitely parts of it that still are like that, but you know, it's like, I think Andrew's like 45 and like Spanky's like 37 and sober, and like, I don't know, it's, everyone's really mellow and nice, and like, I don't know, it's a really lovely thing to be a part of. And like, I still pinch myself every time where I'm like, well, I'm out skating with these dudes, and like,
yeah, all sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really hard to put into words how just grateful I am for it.
So you're still feeling that way, because a lot of the times, like, you get something like that and it's awesome, but you know, we're humans, and you grow accustomed to things, and you grow accustomed to like your lifestyle, that not that you're ungrateful, but like, that's just how humans are. And then it becomes your normal, you know what I mean? But this doesn't feel normal to you yet. It just feels like, still like, holy shit.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, Andrew sent me a clip because I've been having like a trouser meltdown since I've been here, and just been talking about my jeans for 3 weeks to him, and he just sent me this clip from Seinfeld, about George talking about his outfits. And I was in the car yesterday, and we're like, never once in my life would I think Andrew Reynolds would be like sending me clips from Seinfeld, like taking the piss out of me. It's just like, it's, you know, it's such a trip still. But then I go skating with him, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're just talking and shit, and then it'll become a little bit normal, and then I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck.
So filming for the new video has been going good?
It's been hard for me, but like I said, like, my process is like, I'll put a bunch of pressure on myself and freak out for the first part of it, and then I've filmed like a couple things since I've been here, which I'm really proud of. So now hopefully it will get a bit easier. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I've done enough now where I know how I work. It's like, I just got to get through like the mental battle, and then doesn't become easy. But yeah.
Does it feel weird? Like, you've just been in LA for 3 weeks. You're about to stay for a few more weeks. Then you're gonna go to, you know, New York. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that, and then you're not in London. You're not at your place in your South Bank, and it's almost like, do you feel like you don't have? Because I'll feel this way sometimes, like, that you don't have, like, you're not at your spot. Like, you're not at, like, there's like not as much consistency just because of the nature of the lifestyle.
I mean, like, I love London. It's great. I love all my friends there. It's an amazing place, whatever. But I'm from the suburbs of London. Like, I've gone into central London every weekend since I was 12. I live there now. I'm like, right now, I also just went for a breakup, and like, I've done all that stuff, and it's always going to be there. Like, I'm not missing out. It's you know, it's raining and cold. It's been wet and freezing since I've been here. I'm not missing out on anything. You know, South Bank's wet for most of the time this time of year. Like, right now, this is like the sickest shit for me. I'm like, I can skate every day, even if it's raining. Go to the Baker Park, just like I was saying earlier. You know, go buy my fucking expensive smoothie. Like, hang out with Andrew Reynolds and Spanky, and like, don't know. Right now, this is the consistency I like.